I took a bad attitude toward people that are close to me. Found myself cursing them out, running the streets more than I ever have.
I definitely was doing everything wrong. People coming in and out of my life weren't because, they were being mean to me, and I was just standing up for myself. It was because I was doing something wrong, and I was pushing them out of my life.
Oh, I was so mad at the judge. I was mad at myself. I didn't want to be here. I wanted to just go back out the door. I was mad. I was real angry.
Let's talk about this thing called recovery, because I just hear so much banter back and forth about it, not only in treatment centers, in corrections, anybody that suffers from this illness. Everywhere I go, they're on the recovery trail. That big word there, recovery. Recovery. People say I'm working on it. Boy, I'm on the 5th step, 9th step, 8th step, 12th step. What is it? It's about change. What is it? Anybody else? Change in behavior. Learning how to live healthy. Learning everything. Well, one of the ways I classified it and qualified it previously is that I changed the way I do business with the world. Way I do business with the world. What's that about, somebody? Well, believe it or not, we previously talked about behavior, am I right? So we know it involves focusing on our behavior. We got that part. And then we know what the behavior, where I go, what I do, how I react. But let's talk about another piece of recovery. This piece. My attitude. Now, what is that about? My attitude. What's that about?
Don't change your attitude, you ain't gonna change.
But what's it about? So you giving me, you know what? You're giving me some jargon, all right? Some. What is that about, the attitude? Outlook on life. How about this? Attitude is basically me in my perception of everything. That's right. As people, we have all kind of stimuli coming into us. Am I right? Light bill, parents, parole officer, judge. There's all kind of stimuli. Well, believe it or not, my attitude affects how I react. Am I right? Now, what are some of the things that have a bearing on my attitude? First of all, my previous experiences, right? What are some of our previous experiences? What are some of my previous experiences regarding addiction?
Trouble with the law.
Huh? Distrust for the law. I like that, yeah. What else? Being slick, getting over, trying to deceive the world. What else? Huh? Paying no attention to your family? Being broke? Well, believe it or not, we would basically classify most of them as negative attitudes, am I right? Because they all relate to that unhealthy lifestyle that we live. So they are negative in nature. But they affect what I do, how I react. I want you to take a look at your attitude. Let's take a look at not using. That's devastating to think about, isn't it? Isn't it? It's absolutely devastating to think about. Most of us can't even squeeze that thought in our mind. Am I right? We tell ourselves, I can't live a life without using. When the truth of the matter is, you lived extremely well before you started using. Do you remember that? Anybody in here remember that? Yeah. You lived extremely well before you started using. But addiction has taught you to tell yourself, I can't live without using. And then you come to treatment, and they say, well, if you make some adjustments or some changes, then all of a sudden your life will start to straighten itself out. We don't want to hear that, do we? Because we've been comfortable with all the unhealthy lifestyles that we've had to deal with in the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And when I know myself personally, working on my attitude, again, has been a work in progress. There are a lot of things that impact the way we react. Sometimes it can be life experiences. Sometimes it could be what's going on at the moment. And you need to be conscious of the fact that all those things have impact on decisions that you make. Take a good look at your attitude. We look at treatment as the end. Am I right? That's why most of us are in here with our heads down. It's the end. How about flipping the script? Could it actually be the beginning? See, we forget all about that. We just so busy thinking, illness got you thinking that you ain't going to be able to get down no more. We tell you ain't going to be able to get down no more. Illness got you looking at the end. Got you looking at the end. That's why when you're in treatment, you're walking around with your face all tore up, don't want to get up, don't want to do anything. Could it possibly be, actually, though, the beginning?
Hope so.
I thought that going to the penitentiary was the worst thing that could happen to me. You know what? My last stay in the penitentiary is what launched my career. And I've been on the road for the last 28 years. See, even in the midst of literally nothing, because you got nothing in the penitentiary, you can launch your career, your life. Most of you in here, every single one of you sitting in here, got some things going for you. So you really shouldn't have that much difficulty getting it off the ground other than feeling sorry for yourself. See, if you're feeling sorry for yourself, you know what? You will never get it off the ground. And you have to be extremely careful because the illness wants you to wallow in self-pity. Picking on me. Well, ain't nobody picking on me, and ain't nobody been picking on me in the last 28 years. In fact, you know what I found out? People don't pick on you at all if you don't do nothing to them. You know that? I haven't had anybody come up and start picking on me literally in 28 years. It's amazing. When you don't do nothing to them, guess what? They don't do nothing to you. All right? But I used to think they were picking on me all the time. And again, my attitude has changed. See, I'm not walking around fearful anymore. I don't look in my rearview mirror like I used to look in my rearview mirror. I don't have to look in my rearview mirror. You want to know why? I'm driving. I need to look straight ahead because there's nothing in there for me to want to hide or be alarmed about. I get to laughing about people that have to submit urines. I'm going to show you how backwards I think it can be. Oh, you can't have none of my wee-wee. No. And yet and still, we'll walk up to a public toilet and throw it away every day, 3 or 4 times. Am I right? But now all of a sudden, somebody will ask me for a little wee-wee, and I'm offended. You can't have none of my wee-wee. Wee-wee only becomes valuable if what? There's something in it. Yeah, she immediately come on in out the rain on that one. Yeah, she's like, yeah, I got that, boom. You're right. It only becomes valuable if there's something in it. Otherwise, we will gladly do what? Throw it away for free, am I right? Invasion of privacy. Well, how come there's public toilets and we all go in there? You don't care nothing about your privacy when you go in there, but now all of a sudden you want some urine from me and you invade my privacy. You know what I used to tell my parole officer? Get you a gallon jug, because I got to go anyway. In fact, if urine is your thing, I can fill them up, baby. Just line them up, and I'm going to come on with it. Because there ain't nothing in it, and I don't care. If that's what you need, you got it. See, what happens is you flip. Your attitude is completely different. You find out that a lot of things you considered yourself to be fearful of, you was only fearful because you had something to what? To hide. I got this thing about light now. Drives my wife crazy because, you know, she likes to be romantic and stuff. And I'm not really down with that dark room stuff no more. I don't play that. I want to see what's going on. I have for the last 28 years. Yeah. I don't really do that dark thing no more because I spent 20 years of my life in corners, dark room, basements, attics, all right? So I don't really do the dark thing no more. I want light. My wife is like, you always cutting on all the lights. I'm like, yeah, because I want to see what's going on. Yeah. Because Getting High had me in every dark space. What's the name of that program? Dark Shadows? I had the Dark Shadows game and gone with it, boy. It had me in every dark shadow you could possibly imagine. And I'm just not up on dark no more. It ain't one of my favorite things. I don't run off when the night falls, make no mistake about it. But dark ain't one of my things. It's flipping the script. Attitude. It's all about your attitude. I don't whisper no more.
Tiptoe.
You know what? What used to tickle me, like, didn't nobody know what we was talking about. Yeah. Here we are, two dope fiends, raggedy as a bowl of sauerkraut, hair all over our head, and don't let methamphetamine be my drug of choice. I'm looking like something out of an Andy Warhol movie. The two of us standing there talking to one another, and we whispering. And don't nobody know what we talking about. Well, I don't. Yeah. Yeah, that methamphetamine something, boy. Yeah. I don't whisper no more. Yeah, I don't whisper no more. Because there ain't nothing to hide. People come up to me all the time. Boone, I got something I want to tell you, but I don't want you to tell nobody else. You know what I tell them? Then don't tell me. Please don't tell me. Because if it's that top secret, I don't even want to know. All right? Yeah. Yeah. Because Getting High, sobriety and recovery told me to be honest and forthright in my daily affairs, which means that I have to talk about some things sometimes that I don't want to talk about. Mm-hmm. You think I really relish the fact that I told y'all that I stole my son's bike and sold it at the dope house? You think I really feel good about that? You think I'm proud of that? Because I'm certainly not. And even though he's a grown man right now, and he and I have a great relationship and stuff, when I see him, some of those thoughts still roll through my head. How I neglected him, misused him, misled him, deceived him when he was a kid, 7 years old. And I tell myself, I don't ever want to do that to one of my kids again. Right? Not in life. Now, true enough, we got a great relationship now, but I played him like he was a banjo when he was 7 years old. Right? We distrustful. We think everybody out to get us. Well, truth of the matter is, when we was using, they were. Am I right? Did you ever notice when you was using, everybody had something they wanted to say to you? You ever notice that? Now, actually, most of the time, the only time people talk to me is when I want them to talk to me. Ain't nobody got nothing to say to me. You know what? Most of us are trying to squeak out a healthy living, trying to do what's right and move on with our lives. And you know what? If we talk to one another and converse doing that, you know what? Then that's fine and stuff. But we sure don't be talking at one another. But when I was using that stuff, They was coming at me, Jack. Everybody had something they wanted to say. In that courtroom, that's what they was trying to tell me. We tired of you, boy. We are really tired of you, yeah. I don't know why you having so much trouble understanding this. In fact, why don't we send you to the penitentiary so you can pull it together? But don't nobody talk at me now. And I'm not afraid to have conversations now. Being honest and forthright in your daily affairs is something that you have to work on, which means now that even though I don't want to, there are times when I have to talk about things that I don't want to talk about. That don't make you bad. That just says you're working on being healthy. You actually should be proud of that you can do that. Addiction teaches you to try to hide things. Am I right? Ain't you been trying to hide literally from yourself? Remember when I asked you when we first started shooting, how many of you in here were angry? I know all of you mad. And you think you're mad at your mothers and your parole officers and the judges and the treatment centers. And I know who you're mad at. You're mad at you. Most of us don't even have courage enough to tell ourselves that. See, it's a lot easier to say, I'm mad at the judge, or I'm mad at Union Electric, or I'm mad at the probation officer. You are mad as hell at you. That getting high done done you the way it's done you, when you've been trying not to let it do you that way.
That's right.
That's what you're mad at. Everything you've tried to do from stop it to happening, it happened anyway, didn't it? Didn't it? Didn't it? We tried switching drugs. We tried switching states. We tried switching parole officers, switching wives, switching families. Nothing worked, did it? You still ended up sitting here. So I know who you're mad at.
I had to change because my life, it's just not me. I came to a stopping point where I just could not take it no more. You know, I knew what kind of person I am inside. I know what kind of money I made and what I don't have to show for it now. And that's not me. You know, everybody sees it. You know, it kills them to see me doing what I do because they know how I can be, and you know, the true me, the true Randy. And I just got, you know, sick and tired of being sick and tired.
I guess part of me is fearful that I'm going to let myself experience that pain again, but I guess that's part of what I need to be feeling. I need to fear that. Otherwise, I think if I didn't, I would go out and use again. I don't want that. I want a life like I see a lot of my fellow church members have. They're always happy and just, you know, even when something bad happens, they manage to maintain a smile. And that's what I want. So as much as I'm scared, I'm very hopeful.
Undefinable fears. Anybody know what that means? Afraid of everything. Afraid of everything. Well, Winston Churchill said there's nothing to fear but fear itself. I found out that getting high taught me to actually be afraid of nothing. So when they lined out the things that I was going to need to do on the board regarding my sobriety, I wasn't afraid. I didn't even try to tell myself I was afraid. What are you afraid of? You know what you should be afraid of? Using again.
Okay.
But it's amazing how this illness won't even let you squeeze that thought in your mind. We're afraid of everything but using again. Yeah, that is something, ain't it? Just think about the way it's done you and misused you, and that thought won't even come in your mind. You want to know why? Because the illness won't let you go there. It won't let you go there. Right now, I'm forcing you to go there on purpose because I'm trying to take you all the places the illness won't let you go. And I know it's very difficult for you to try to get there yourself. Indefinable fears. Anger. Well, the truth of the matter is, you're angry at you. In fact, you know what? I got so mad at me and so angry, I decided that I didn't want to be that no more. That's how mad I got. Anybody in here that angry? When I looked in the mirror and actually saw what I was, which was basically a lying ass, cheating ass, stealing ass, double-crossing ass, to be watched ass, funky ass, zip damn fool. She bust out laughing. Woo, yeah. Yeah. I was so disappointed. A lot of y'all saying, and you know what? I saw everybody's head shaking on it. Because you know what? I'm telling you the truth. Am I right? But the flowery, remember, the flowery textbook definition says compulsive, unmanageable behavior characterized by a loss of control. But when you take all them pretty words from around it, that's what you come out with. Do you know that? Lying ass, cheating ass, stealing ass, double-crossing ass, to be watched ass, funky ass, methamphetamine, funky ass, zip damn fool. Zip damn fool. Yeah. Thought I was going to leave you out during the day, didn't you? Yeah. Well, don't feel bad. All chemicals have certain characteristics to them. See, the cocaine user don't want to talk to you about what goes on with him. And then the weed smoker will tell you that marijuana should be legal. It don't do nothing. And I don't see what, yeah, all right. And since it don't do nothing, but what was I saying? All right. Yeah. It don't do nothing, but Ricky Williams walked off and left $14 million. But it don't do nothing. Okay, yeah, all right? Yeah, right. Okay. So the trick is to go all the places that the illness don't want you to go. See, that's how you start piecing your life back together. And a lot of times people have to guide us to them places. Because remember, it just wants you to remember the good times. And if you're not going to use again, you're going to have to be able to remember what?
The bad time.
The bad time. So let me finish where I was. So when I called myself, like I saw it, that lying cheat thing here, I'm standing in the mirror, tears coming down my cheek. I mean, I'm crying. In fact, anybody in here ever been in that spot? In fact, how about this for an example or illustration? I'm crying so hard that water is literally coming from every hole in my body. Out my eyes, out my nose and stuff, out my mouth, out my ears. That's how hard I'm crying. Anybody in here ever been crying that hard? All right? Yeah? I'm crying. And I looked up and I said, you know what? I'm so disappointed at what I see. I don't want to be that no more. That's how disappointed I am. I'm extremely disappointed at what this has come to. See, I thought it was going to be about fun and parties and girls and money and slapping one another in the hand and laughing, and come to find out it was about penitentiaries, emergency rooms, funeral parlors, judges' chambers, raggedy as a bowl of sauerkraut, living like a refugee, homeless. See, I was so disappointed at what I saw and what it had come to, I decided that I didn't want to be that no more. Now check this out. I didn't say nobody decided for me. Who did I say decided?
You did.
I decided. See, we actually act like we need somebody else to pull this off. Truth of the matter is, you're capable of pulling this off. You just got to make a decision. Are you going to go with it the way it is? Or are you going to do what Teddy Pendergrass said and what? Let that go. I think I better let it go. Because to me, it sure looked like the TKO. Am I right? Am I right? I mean, anybody having any trouble with the TKO part? Yeah. Because your ass is down on the canvas. Am I right? Look like a TKO to me. Right? So I said, I don't want to be that no more. I just flat out don't want to be that no more. It seems to me that you have an illness that's trying to kill you. Is anybody up on that?
Yep.
Have you really taken a good look at that? That this illness is actually trying to kill you. It's trying to confuse you and make you believe that what you're doing is okay. And that everybody else is crazy. That everybody else is nuts and what you're doing is okay. Well, to help kind of clarify that for you, did anybody notice the way you looked when you got here? Have you ever wondered why you look so different literally in a few days' time? As your body starts to repair itself? Not only are you getting your rest and you're eating, you know what? There's not the stress, the psychological stress that you have to face off with every day. And you know what? Your body starts to ease its posture some and come back to life, especially as it starts to repair itself and you're not putting that poison in you. You're not facing off with pistols anymore. You're not trying to duck the police. There's nobody in here to lie to other than yourself. And it's amazing how we'll come in here and we'll continue to do that. This is one of the places that you can actually tell the truth and ain't nobody gonna judge you. In fact, I wasn't even aware of this. Anybody ever read in the good book where it says the truth will set you free? If you actually really want to do this, all you have to have is courage enough to tell yourself the truth about what went down. Notice what I said about what went down. And when I say what went down, I'm talking about everything that went down. See, addiction will teach you to take a look at all the funny times that you had. When you had money in your pocket and you was going to cop and you was laughing. Or when you almost hit that telephone pole. But it will make, or when you trick the police, or when you trick somebody out of something. See, it will have you looking at all those times. But it don't want you to look at the time when you came to the dope house and wasn't but $1.50 short. And they talked to you like you came from another planet. Or they asked you to do things that literally made you want to throw up about being $2 short. See, it don't want you to remember that. It don't want you to remember what sitting in that county jail was like, because you didn't get no cards from the dope house. Did you notice that? Did you get any cards from the dope house?
Nope.
Did they come put any money on your books from the dope house?
Nope.
The only people that came were, guess who? Your family. Your family. Because they are actually the only ones that care. I say all the time that getting high don't have no friends. Because when it comes to picking between you getting high and me getting high, guess what?
I'm gonna get high.
You just came in second. I'm glad you finished it for me, yeah. You just came in second. Because there's no way I'm gonna let you get down before me. And not because you're a bad person, it's just because this illness makes you put what? It first. You'll put it before your kids, you'll put it before your life, you'll put it before your money, you'll put it before everything. In fact, the illness itself doesn't care about you at all. Does anybody pick that up? You picked up on that? Think of it this way. How many times has this illness left you holding the bag? It left you holding the bag in the courtroom, am I right? Because you was the only one in there. You found out what I found out, like Richard Pryor tried to tell people like us 20 years ago. When we go to a courtroom, we get justice, be just us standing in there. Right? Yeah? Yeah. It left you holding the bag when you got put out, am I right? It left you holding the bag when you was hungry. See, because you took the dope money and spent it at the dope house. You could have ate, am I right? But you spent that money in the dope house. It didn't care nothing about you being hungry, did it? How many times you done stood outside when it's 15 degrees below zero waiting on the dope man? Waiting on the dope man. Literally freezing to death out there, am I right? It left you holding the bag when your mother was pleading with you, tears coming down her cheek, to stop using that stuff. Left you there all alone to feel guilty and remorseful, didn't it? And ashamed of yourself that you had done it that way. Left you holding the bag when the kids told you they didn't know who you were anymore. And you had to try to live with that. Left you holding the bag when there was nobody else around you. And you was there all by yourself. Well, I got tired of being the bag man. I looked up, I was the bag man for 20 years. When I went to the penitentiary, you know what? Left me out there on that yard by myself. I got tired of being the bag man. I don't know about y'all. I can't speak for you. But I got tired of being the bag man. Because every time I looked up, I was paying the consequences for my behavior. I found out what intolerance is all about. You know, in America, we got this real thing about intolerance. In fact, we get mad at how intolerant people are of us. Have you ever noticed that? But addiction takes you to a level of intolerance that's absolutely incredible. All you got to do is just try to stop me from getting high, and you on the hit list, boy. Am I right? Yeah. Yeah. You are most definitely on the hit list. And it could be mama, daddy, sister, brother, doctor, lawyer, engine chief, pope, clan. Makes no difference, am I right? Yeah. Try to bait me off from getting high, and you automatically go to the hit list. It's amazing how it changes how we react.
Yes, it is.
Family members that we dearly loved, we don't go around. Why? Because they might say something about what we're doing. Am I right? So we would rather not go around them at all, because if they say something about what we're doing, we have a tendency to do what? Erupt. She put her head down like, blow my stack. All right? Erupt. So we prefer just to stay out of their company. In fact, anything that goes against what we're trying to do, we most definitely try to position ourselves as far away from that as we possibly can. Remember when somebody finally had enough courage to tell you that you need to get some help for yourself? Remember how you felt? Remember how mad you were that somebody could even imply that about you? That you couldn't handle that crack pipe, or you couldn't handle that blunt, or you couldn't handle that wild turkey, or you couldn't handle that cocaine? You were insulted, remember? Not only insulted, you were so angry you wanted to choke them, didn't you? Didn't you? We have to be conscious of the fact that due to our addiction, we have a very unhealthy attitude, which kind of distorts how we process information coming in. You need to be aware of that. That's what AA is for. That's what NA is for. That's what sponsors are for, to help you sort information out. In other words, the business of living. Remember the definition? Change the way you do business with the world. See, my attitude is different now about business. I had told you that I was never where I was supposed to be when I was supposed to be there. Well, I own my own business now. What if I continued to function that way? Business is gone, am I right? In fact, since I am a public speaker and a trainer, it is imperative that once a person makes a contract with me, that I'm where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be there. Because there's going to be 500 or 600 people waiting on me. And guess what? An excuse won't do. And sometimes I present it with a temperature of 102. And sometimes I've been cold. And sometimes the rooms have been hot. And you know what? That's a part of life. Sometimes there's been a microphone. Sometimes there's not a microphone. Guess what? Getting high taught me how to yell. I had 2 Cadillacs. See, I always got my message across at the dope table. So I don't act like, you know what? That if there's not a microphone, the world has come to an end. Because addiction taught me how to make adjustments. So I make adjustments. And I had to adjust my attitude. How about this? I'm concerned for the law. See, 28 years ago, I cared nothing about no law. It was Boone's law. Do you know that? That's the law I operated under. It was flat out Boone's law, which meant that if it wasn't to my advantage, there was no such thing as the law. Am I right? Well, I don't operate that way anymore. I remember, because you know we stubborn. Let's take a look at Buckle Up. It's the seatbelt law. I bucked him for a while. And then I got a ticket on 57th Street, which is in the middle of New York. And then the next day, guess what? I got another ticket. You ought to see me strapping in now. I look like a bandito when I'm sitting in the car now, Jack. Make Clint Eastwood look like a sissy. I'm strapped. Because guess what? $200 tickets will catch your attention, especially 2 days in a row. I'm like, I would rather do this than to do that, which is put your hand out the window to take the ticket. And I have been for the last 4 years now. See, my attitude has changed regarding the law. I promised the last time I was in a courtroom I would never, ever be in one again. In fact, I wouldn't even go in a courtroom to see how well you doing in there. Do you know that? I don't go in courtroom. If I get a traffic ticket, I pay it before the ink dries on it. Because I ain't going downtown to talk to nobody about nothing down there. Because every time I went downtown, I didn't come home. Do you know that? So I don't do the downtown thing in a courtroom. Never see me down there. Because every time I went down there, I didn't come home. See, my attitude regarding the law has changed. I like law and order now. You know what? I do. Because there's a sense of security in law and order. See, when things are wild and they're just going the way they go and stuff and everybody's kind of doing it, you know what? That's hectic and stressful. Law and order is for a reason. You know, I would imagine now that if somebody would rob my house, I would hurry up and call the police immediately. You want to know why? I'm a taxpayer. That's his job to track them down. But when you're using that stuff, what do you say? Not only that, yeah, but what do you... I'm going to get a couple of my dogs, yeah. Yeah, we're going to ride on them. Terrorize the neighborhood until I get my stuff back. You know what? That's what I play the police for.
And homeowners insurance.
Yeah, and you better believe it. And homeowners insurance. That's exactly what I pay it for. Again, my attitude has changed. You've been wanting your life back, am I right? Mm-hmm. You've been asking for your life. Well, how about this for a thought? The good Lord heard your request.
Amen.
No, I know how he heard your request. He sent you here. All right, so if that be true, and we know it's true, because he heard each and every one of you, we are most definitely at a critical juncture. Am I right?
I know it. I know it.
So here's what I'm going to ask you. You got it. Now what you going to do with it? You got it. Now what you going to do with it? See, one of the struggles of the human condition, and you notice I'm not just saying yours, I said human condition, which means of everybody. One of the struggles of the human condition is to be able to control some of your destiny. Notice what I said, some of your destiny, because we can't control all of our destiny. There are too many variables that come into place. But to be able to control some of our destiny is what we all want to be about as human beings. Well, I got some news for you. It's one of the most wonderful feelings on face of this planet, to be able to control some of your destiny. See, I do that now. I go where I want to go, do what I want to do, when I want to do it. I can do it for free. I can do it for pay. I can do it for no reason whatsoever other than I want to do it. I can go where I want to go, be with who I want to be with, do what I want to do. When I was getting high, I couldn't do those things. So if you're looking for a payoff that recovery and sobriety gets you, you kind of have to change your perception of what you consider a payoff. See, I enjoy being able to look at the map of the world and know I can be anywhere in it that I choose to be. I enjoy being able to buy something on the most expensive real estate on the face of this earth. I can enjoy waking up and knowing that my phone's going to ring, even whether I want it to or not. It's going to ring because I run a business and people want this information. I can enjoy that I can drive a car just like any other normal human being and not have to look in my rearview mirror and worry about who's behind me. I enjoy the fact that when my kids call on the phone and say they want to do something, I can say, you know what? Just tell me what it is, and we can get it done. See, because I couldn't do those things when I was getting high. I enjoy when people pick up the phone and just call me from around the world and say, you know what? I just wanted to say thank you. I happened to see one of your videos, and you know what? It changed the way I think and do business with the world. See, I get all kind of payoffs. You want to know what I was really thinking about when I got off the plane? My people. My people. See, because I know that deep down inside, you're some of the greatest people on the face of this earth. You just do bad things when you're messing with that stuff. But if we can ever separate one of us from that stuff, there's no telling what we'll come out with. And I'm living proof of that. If I can just get you, after your 4 decades, to step away from it, there's no telling what we can end up with here. And I should be living proof to you as that can happen. So you've got your life. But the question is, what are you going to do with it?